Well, this is sad. The sports world losing a legend. I'm talking about Bobby Knight, passed away at the age of 83 after battling poor health for several years.
Yeah, the Hall of Famer's family announced his passing last night. Tributes are now pouring in from his old players and even a former U.S. president.
Todd Piro joins us with more on the life and legend of Bobby Knight.
Yeah, quite a life, quite a legend. Good morning to all three of you. Coach Knight winning 3 national championships at Indiana, going to the Final Four 5 times. Of course, earning the nickname the General for his serious and tough personality and those fiery outbursts, including this infamous moment in 1985. It's coming right now, when he throws the chair across the court. Reaction from across the country pouring in, including messages from his former Indiana Hoosiers players, like Hall of Fame point guard Isaiah Thomas, who wrote on X, quote, "Lots of teenage tears flowing tonight for our coach." Can't forget about former Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski. He was coached by Knight at Army, basically had his legendary coaching career started by Knight, remembering the coach in a statement saying, quote, "Coach Knight recruited me, mentored me, and had a profound impact on my career and in my life. Our family is deeply saddened by his passing." And former President Donald Trump, who was endorsed by Knight in 2016, sharing on Truth Social, quote, "The world just lost an incredible person. He was loyal to his players, to his state, to our country, tough as nails, but a big heart." In 1994, Knight famously shared this memorable quote on how he wanted to be remembered. Watch.
"When my time on earth is gone and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my."
Bobby Knight survived by his wife Karen, sons Tim and Pat. He was 83 years old. And I know you know this, Brian, the coaching tree from Bobby Knight, the coaches that have entered the profession since him through his mentoring is extensive. And it's not just in basketball. Remember, Bill Parcells was once an assistant coach under the great Bobby Knight. And look what he went on to do in the NFL. So a lot of links to one Bobby Knight.
One of his best friends was Ted Williams.
Yeah.
And he used to go hunting with Bill Parcells, Ted Williams. And can you imagine these guys come walk out of the woods together? It's like, excuse me, what planet am I on?
That is crazy.
And the conversations.
I love the last soundbite because you're expecting it's, heartfelt, something so profound, and then it's about his critics.
And you know what? You've got to wonder, and he was being funny there, but you've got to wonder if people are thinking, okay.
Is this how they're going to bury him?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Todd.
No problem.
Is that how they're going to bury him? No, that's not what he meant. That's how. You mean with a little glass?
No. Upside down.
So his critics can kiss
I
his
know,
chair.
but like a Lenin thing where people visit it?
No. What he just said. Anyway.
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. What are you talking
Bury him
about?
backwards so everyone could.
He said upside down in that soundbite, that famous soundbite.
I know, but
anyway, something else that Todd ran was where Bobby Knight threw the chair, right?
Yep.
Do you know why? That's the most iconic image of Bobby Knight, where he throws the chair. Do you know why he did that?
no.
It was a bad call from a ref, right?
Well, you know what? It's because the Hoosiers, his team, were called for 3 fouls in 59 seconds, and he had it up to here, and so he threw the chair.
And so I blame the refs.
My dad was a coach. Loved this guy. And
You talked to Bobby
Hoosiers.
Knight about that.
Yeah, we did. He was on the Kirby couch years ago. The Hoosiers. I'm not even thinking, but when Todd said the Hoosiers, that was Dad's favorite movie. There he was coming on set with us. We were able to meet him and talk with him.
Yeah, it was great. And by the way, he was one of the first big backers of Donald Trump. He came here when Donald Trump was running for president and said, this guy should win. Watch. Why did you come out for Donald Trump? What is it about this businessman that makes you think I'm ready to do it?
I consider myself to be more than anything else an American, and there's nothing that I would rather do in my lifetime than do something to help the United States. And what better than to recommend this man as president, because there is nobody in the United States presidential history that has come into the presidency or would come into the presidency with the background and the ability that Mr. Trump has.
How many points can Bobby Knight put on the board for you, do you think, and your experts say, in Indiana?
He's got something special. I think it's got to add something. It could add a lot. And I think even beyond Indiana. But the people, you have to see the people outside. They go crazy. When they see Bobby Knight, they just saw him. We just got out of the car. They went crazy.
He was a legend.
And for Donald Trump, it means a lot because he, they're peers, but he grew up through certain George Steinbrenner with Bobby Knight, Tommy Tuberville, not Tommy Tuberville, but Bobby Bowden was also somebody that Donald Trump grew up watching, relatively peers. And these guys came out and said, "This is my guy," early on.
God rest his soul.